What up, everyone? This is Adam Quiney, and today I'm going to address a favorite client question. It's probably more a favorite human question, but I hear it from my clients all the time. Probably I'm sure my coach hears it from me too. And that question is, why? Why do I keep procrastinating? Why can't I stop pining for this person? Why can't I just tell that person I love them? Why can't I go up to people and just tell them how beautiful they are and ask them out on a date? Why? So much angst, so much excruciating existential crisis in this question. And the truth about why is it doesn't matter. That's the best part about coaching. It's also kind of what makes it infuriating. So let's break down why a little bit and see sort of the bankruptcy of it. First of all, the central premise behind the why question, what I mean is the reason people are asking why are you asking why, is typically because people think, for the most part, that if we could just understand the reason why, then actually doing the thing would become so much easier. So if the person is kind of like, wow, I really want a relationship where I get what I want, a relationship where I'm opened up and alive with possibility and I just get to be my authentic self. And they notice, wow, I'm not doing that. Like I go out on a date with people and then I catch myself shutting up and it's not working. And they have a thought that if they understood the reason behind why they were doing that, then it would be easier to just start opening up and sharing, because it'd be like, oh, this is just because of that thing that happened in my childhood, and therefore it's not related to the present, and so I can just do whatever. But that's not how it works. That's never how it works. The bankruptcy of why comes from, we start here and we think, okay, there's a thing I want to do, but I'm not doing it because it's scary. That's almost always why you're not doing something in life. It's almost always the reason you're not moving forward. Now in coaching, we would go beyond simply looking at it as fear, because we actually want to get to the story behind it and really do some deep inner work. But for the conversation we're in right now, we'll just assume fear. So people want to ask why in the hopes that that will make the fear go away. And all that why does is it gets you more information. It gets you information about how you put this together, why this particular thing is scary for you, but not for that person over there. And the danger of information is it feels good. When we dig in and we sort of pull some stuff apart and get an answer, as humans, we love answers, we crave them. And it leads us to conclude, or at least to believe for a while, that, oh, I'm making progress. I'm getting into the depth of this. I'm really pulling this apart and getting deeper. The problem with why is that you get more information, and all that does is increase your crave. It doesn't move you past the fear because there's been no behavioral change. You haven't actually taken any actions. And then because that information felt kind of good, it leads us to think, well, but why that? We want more why. We want more answers, we want more information because, that information felt so good the first time, felt like I was really moving forward. Maybe if I got some more whys. And what the answer to why gets us is the sensation of creating progress without creating any progress at all. So first of all, if you're in a conversation with your coach where you're continually exploring why, I would suggest that you bring this up with your coach and say, hey, I got an idea. I saw a video, or it came to me that asking why isn't moving me forward. The real measure of whether or not you're moving forward is whether your life is moving in the direction you want it to be. Are you actually creating those impossible, those amazing projects that you've decided are a reflection of the life you want? Are you moving those forward? Who cares why you're doing anything? And that's one of the coolest parts about coaching, is that we don't need to know why. We start from the premise that you're whole and complete. You don't have defects or, gross chemical imbalances or anything that needs to be addressed. And if you do, then your coach will raise that with you and refer you to a professional for that. But the entry point for coaching is that you've got everything you need right in front of you. And from that place, we don't need to know why. Why is irrelevant. If you want to be in a relationship where you are authentic and true and opening up and aren't creating that, great. That's all we need to know. And then all we need to do is look at what are some structures that might move you forward if we were to put them in place, that might overcome your resistance. We don't have to look at all of the reasons why. We don't have to go through all of your childhood. There's times when we might. Your coach might entertain that with you or even see value in exploring that with you, but always solely with the intention of moving you forward into the future you desire. So the why question is really bankrupt and really, really catchy. it really draws us in. And it's really, I mean, I notice myself bringing why questions to my coach all the time, and it's an effort. I have to make a deliberate, intentional effort to say, hold on, that's not really what there is. What's the real hope behind the why question? And that's what I would give to you. That's the practice I might invite you to take on, is when you find yourself in that why question, asking yourself why, take a look at, like, what am I hoping will shift or change if I did get the answer to why? So if it's sort of like, oh, I really want to raise at work, but I keep underselling myself, why am I doing that? What's the hope behind it? And the hope might be, well, if I understood why, then I'd probably be willing to just ask for that $20,000 raise, because I'd know that it was bullshit the reason I wasn't asking for it. I'd know it wasn't based on reality. So I'd be more willing to just go out there and ask for the bold thing. Great. That right there is now the only thing you need to do. That's your focus for this particular project or thing you're working on, is actually taking the action that will lead you towards doing that. So go and write an email to your boss. Hey, I actually feel undervalued and I'd like a raise, and I'd like to have a conversation with you about that. Or just go into their office, have a conversation, whatever it looks like. The why question is a lot like marijuana or alcohol, or to me, there's a very drug-like quality to it. And what I mean by that is that it provides kind of this window into possibility where we can see something that looks really tantalizing, but then we never actually move towards it. It's always just that taste, that whiff, and then back into reality. So I really invite you to one, notice the times when you're asking that why question. Two, look at the hidden hope or desire underneath it. And then three, to take that action. Take the action that will create the hope instead of playing the game of why over and over and over again. And if you do this, your life will move forward incredibly faster than it might otherwise. You'll be amazed. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that the fear goes away, because it doesn't. The way that fear goes away is by confronting it. By taking the action you're afraid of, it stops being scary. So, the caveat here is you still have to do what scares you if you really want the life of your dreams. The gift is that you can let go of trying to figure things out and understand why, and instead just start creating the life of your dreams. Much love.